Disorganization, cluttered workspaces, flimsy tool carts, lack of storage, bad use of space. These are issues we all deal with in the garage and shop every day. So what if we had a design that could solve all of those problems? What would it look like, and where would we start? Let's take a look at a project that I have in mind. This is Xtreme DIY, brought to you by 80/20. So my toolbox and my power tools take up a lot of space. It'd be nice to use some vertical space and have some easier access. So I definitely need something with a lot of shelves. And I'm also thinking something mobile. It'd be good to have a place to hang some cords and hoses, so pegboard might work. It'd also be nice to have a whiteboard in case I need to take some notes too. And I definitely need some small bins for those nuts and bolts and other hardware I have laying around. So I have some ideas on what I want to design, but I need a little more information. So I'm going to swing over to 80/20 and talk to a design specialist. Hey Josh, how's it going?
Andrew, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Good. So I had a chance to look at your preliminary design sheet.
Okay.
Looks good so far. What questions do you have for me?
Well, I was hoping you could narrow down some products for me for this build.
Okay.
I want to start with profiles, and I want to stay on the fractional side, but I'm kind of torn between 10 and 15 series.
Sure. So both good options, but some things we need to consider are weight, deflection, and of course appearance. I think you mentioned on the design sheet this is going to be in the garage, correct?
Yeah, it's going to be a tool cabinet that kind of holds all your tools in one place. You can move it around, open it up, use it, and then close it back up.
Okay, so based off what you're telling me and some of the weight that might be on this application, I think I would look at the 15 series.
Okay.
Going to allow you a little bit more rigidness, a little more strength when it comes to holding different weights.
Okay, so it sounds like 15 series is the way to go then.
Absolutely.
So for fastening options, do you have a certain one in mind?
I do. Based off your application and the shelving that's involved, I'd certainly look at something like our anchor fastener.
Okay.
It's going to provide you the ability to move those shelves up and down as needed. Also, because we talked a lot about weight, it's going to provide you some extra support when it comes to weight as well.
Okay. It'd be really nice to be able to adjust those where I need them.
Definitely. If location's key to you, another fastener I'd recommend is our end fastener. Okay. It's going to give you that fixed location. Some other options we have, some external fasteners, flat plates, brackets. So really it comes down to what you want.
Okay. That seems to get me in the right direction. Now, I want to make this thing mobile. What kind of casters do you think I should use?
Sure. So the first thing we're going to want to do is determine the weight.
Okay.
Once we determine the weight, we can start to really narrow things down. Things like swivel or fixed casters, locking or non-locking wheels. But again, like I said, once we determine the weight, that'll help us determine everything else.
Okay, sounds good. Now for panels, I really want to make this durable on the outside.
Sure.
And I also want to save one panel for a whiteboard maybe to take notes on.
Okay. So for the whiteboard, that's pretty straightforward. I would definitely recommend our white HDPE panel.
Great. So what about the other ones?
From a durability standpoint, I would certainly look at our aluminum panels.
Okay.
Strong, come in many different thicknesses. Similar to our aluminum panel is going to be our aluminum light panel, a little bit lighter than our aluminum panel. Okay. And then from an aesthetic standpoint, something that's a little more flashy would be our diamond tread plate.
I do like the look of that diamond plate. But I got one more question for you.
Okay.
After I give you that design sheet, I had an afterthought, and I was thinking of putting a flip-up work surface inside of it. I was going to use a pivot joint, but I wasn't sure how to lock it into place.
Nice. Okay, I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
So this right here is our deadbolt latch, okay? You see it in a lot of door, panel applications, things like that. What we would do here is attach this deadbolt latch to the bottom side of the panel, put a little bit of machining in the extrusion itself, then we'd flip up the panel and lock it into position.
No, I never thought of using it like that. That's great.
Great. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, I don't think so. You pretty much narrowed it down. I'm just ready to get started.
Well, I'm really glad I could help. And remember, moving forward, if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help.
All right, will do. Thanks, Josh.
You're welcome.
So after meeting with Josh, I think I've got things narrowed down to a final design. So let's break it down. So the first thing I considered was the type of profile series. For the base, I really wanted something not only durable, but also strong enough to hold a lot of weight. So I settled on the standard 15-15. For the uprights and the top bars, weight support wasn't as big of a factor. so I went with the 1515 Ultralight. This helps me cut costs and shave off some weight to the project. For the shelves, I combined some radius profiles with the panels inset inside the T-slot. This will give the shelves a slight lip to prevent things from slipping out. Moving on to the fastening options. I really like Josh's idea for those anchor fasteners on the shelves, which allow me to adjust the height when I need to. For the rest of the frame, I decided to go with end fasteners, since I won't need to adjust the frame once the cabinet is built. When it came to the hinges, I made sure they were strong, secure, and would hold up to repeated use and heavy weight. There were a lot of options when it came to the casters. I knew I needed something strong enough to hold up the weight of the project, lock into place, and hold up the repeated trips back and forth across the garage. So after considering everything, I went with a locking stem caster. The next thing the cabinet needed was panels. Josh pointed me in the right direction with the HDPE panel that could act as a whiteboard. So I went ahead and did that on one side. I decided to take it a step further, giving myself more options, and I added chalkboard to the opposite side of the whiteboard. The other side door will be a pegboard that'll act as a home for larger tools and extension cords. And lastly, I went with the diamond tread plate that Josh mentioned for the outside, because it's going to hold up to that repeated use in the garage, while also making the cabinet really pop. To finish it off, I added some accessories. A light above my flip-up table, bins for my hardware, some end caps to cover up some exposed profile ends, and even some rubber tread strip along the door frames to prevent slamming. Now that my design's finalized, the last thing to do is place the order. We've got all of our parts and pieces, and we're just about ready to start building our tool and storage cabinet. If you'd like to start your own project, be sure to request your free starter pack and tune in next time, where we'll take a look at how all these parts and pieces come together to make our cabinet. But until then, make it a great day.